All right, welcome back to part two with the 80 Series Land Cruiser for the P401 parts refresh. So I was able to get the VSV for the EGR and the vacuum system out without pulling the other half of the intake. I was also able to get the vacuum control modulator back there, the blue one. I was able to get that out no problem from the other side and this side. And then this one, the vacuum control valve, the brown, for the actual fuel pressure regulator, that one was a little trickier. So I got all that out, brought it over to the bench. In part one, I went through the VSV for the EGR. That failed. This one didn't fail, but I have a new one, so I'm going to put it in anyway. I guess my point is that following the FSM, making sure everything's good, that the P401 is actually totally doable without pulling the other half of the intake. It's a little tricky, but it can be done. So yeah, I'll have a part three where it's all together, and I'll report back in a week or two to verify that the P401 didn't come back on. So again, the VSV on this side, the bluish one, that one for sure failed. It failed continuity, and it failed the battery test. So it wasn't working at all, which makes sense because for a while I would get the P401 after I rebuilt this motor intermittently and before. But this time around, it was literally coming on after my second start, regardless of mileage. It was just failing nonstop. So I had hoped by taking it apart, I'd finally find a part that actually failed. The previous two times I pulled that sucker out when I rebuilt the motor, and then before that, a couple years ago, I pulled it out, took the intake off. I'd done some other work. I replaced all my spark plug seals as well as all my vacuum lines. I was getting a ton of oil in the intake, and I was going to do a catch can, but it turned out I didn't need a catch can. This creates a venturi, and there's a whole article on Mud about replacing all the seals and keeping the air out where it's not supposed to be. So anyway, back to subject. Yeah, that part failed, and I'm replace it. I'll do a part three where I report back on the P401, hopefully P401 hopefully being completely gone. That's it. If you're working on your 80, good luck. It is totally possible to do the work under the plenum without removing the entire deal. I did it with the throttle body off only. That's it. Take care. Bye.